Jefferson Department of Justice will be responsible for multi-county law enforcement operations. County sheriff's departments will each contribute deputies for temporary duty to Jefferson DOJ. During their time with state service, these deputies can be trained in accident investigation, coroner investigations, forensic, and other duties which counties may lack resources to do the training for. JDOJ will oversee any post-academy standards for the university systems of Jefferson. Police academy training will be conducted at a community college nearby to the locale that the officers are needed. The state's attorney general is an elected officer and will also be the solicitor general to the United States Supreme Court. So our attorney general will act as the state of Jefferson's lawyer whenever we go to the Supreme Court. Let's see. County sheriffs will be the highest law enforcement officer within Jefferson inside of their county. Yeah, I like that one too. Let's see. With the exception of incorporated city police forces by vote of elected city councils, there will be no armed law enforcement in the state of Jefferson except that of the county sheriff. The DMV in Jefferson is not going to have a gun-packing force. The Social Security Administration will not tote guns in the state of Jefferson. County sheriffs will be the armed law enforcement. Let's see, where was I here? Federal law enforcement will not be allowed to operate in any given county except by one-time MOU during emergencies, natural disaster, time of war, and only by consent of the county sheriff involved. MOUs during such emergencies must be renewed every 6 months, and they should be reviewed to make sure they serve the county well. And we have plenty of Supreme Court precedent for that. Counties cannot be compelled to enforce federal law. Should Jefferson require a state law enforcement presence during an emergency or for a multi-county emergency, counties will contribute deputies to the Jefferson Department of Justice. They will then go to the affected county. The law enforcement personnel will be under the command of the local county sheriff for all of the time they're within that county. So in other words, we're constantly loaning each other officers. And you know, it's funny, up here we just do that. You know, in Southern California, they like get a bill. You know, if they borrow a Santa Barbara County deputy. But when we have a fire over in Humboldt County, we just send deputies because our neighbors need help. We don't ever send a bill. You know, we just send the deputy. And that's what I'm really proposing, but that will be codified. Militia. Jefferson State, and the legal team informs me this might be a tough one too, but we'll do our best with it. Jefferson State will not participate in the United States National Guard system. Jefferson's force for defense of state and nation during time of invasion or emergency will be a state militia. Formation and command structure will be decided by Constitutional Convention. The Jefferson Militia will not be available for foreign wars unless by approval of a vote of the people and the legislature. Jefferson Militia will supervise state firefighting, State Office of Emergency Services, state search and rescue, defense of state and nation during national emergency. Militia will be available to counties during times of emergency or natural disaster upon request, provided constitutional mandates are met first. Judicial. Jefferson Supreme Court will be comprised of 7 judges. These will be elected officers, elected by district. Elections at large, and Michael kind of, he did a lot of educating for me on this. He said the elections at large are very dangerous with judges, and so we need to elect these Supreme Court judges by district so that they're accountable to a group of people that they have to look in the eye once in a while. That's a very good idea. It made a lot of sense. They'll be elected for a period of good behavior to be determined by Constitutional Convention. State appellate court judges will be elected officers and will serve during good behavior for a period of years determined by Constitutional Convention. Appellate and Supreme Court judges will be elected by district as apportioned by the Constitutional Convention. Superior Court judges will be elected for a period decided by each county, and that system of judges will also include justices of the peace. And that's a system we've long gotten away from, but it was a good system. It's where a regular guy sits and talks to his neighbors about the arguments they're having. And he knows both of them, probably. And he can make a determination that a judge could never make. So we want a system of justice of the peace. Justice of the peace will adjudicate misdemeanors in each county as well as other duties. Family law and other minor court officers will be selected in a manner approved by each county. Binding arbitration may be conducted by attorneys provided the involved parties are in agreement and sign contracts agreeing to that manner of adjudication. We can keep a lot of things out of court with binding arbitration. And as long as everybody agrees to the process, it's good. A trial by jury, and this is a good part here, is inviolate. It's an inalienable right. Any matter of civil or criminal law with consequences of more than $100 is to be adjudicated by a jury of the defendant's peers within the county in which the act took place. State appellate courts will operate by circuit. Appellate courts will try state responsibility cases in the county in which the act took place, using county residents as a jury pool. Jury nullification is an inalienable right. And juries will be instructed appropriately. Courts and court security funded by the state, that's all pretty standard stuff. Judicial opinions or rulings are and by Constitution must be limited to the issues at fact, which are being raised by the parties to the action. As a final act to strengthen the rights of the people, the judicial will recognize the right and the fact of pro se litigants. In other words, we are going to break the monopoly that attorneys have on court. You will not only be allowed to act on your own behalf, you will be encouraged to do it and instructed as how to do it. So pro se litigants will be a right. The right of the people to act in their own defense is inalienable and will be respected in the courts of Jefferson, as will the right of the jury to nullify.